Fallout 3, Numbers Station. Fallout 3 contains several in-game radio stations. The most diverse and important station is Galaxy News Radio. Many players of the evil persuasion know that you can kill 3-Dog and he will be replaced by the technician Margaret. She is not a charismatic person and has very little to say, seeming to not enjoy her new announcing duties. She also never appears in person, and therefore cannot be killed. Once 3-Dog is dead, you're stuck with Margaret. What most players do not know is that under certain circumstances, GNR will become a numbers station. A numbers station is a station that broadcasts an unusual coded message. Many of these exist in real life and some hypothesize that they are a nuclear retaliation control network. Simply check Wikipedia for more information about these odd broadcasts as they relate to the real world. Back to Fallout 3. No one is really sure which actions are needed to hear the numbers station in Fallout 3. It appears that you must kill 3-Dog, because no one has reported hearing the numbers station with him still alive. It also appears that you have to skip over the quest Galaxy News Radio, where you help boost the signal so that the station can be broadcast further than just the immediate DC area. This is easy enough to do with either a speech check or simply using the Fallout Wiki to look up where to go next and advance the main plot. Finally, you definitely have to destroy Raven Rock. This is the actual trigger to turn GNR into a numbers station, and it will remain such for the rest of the game. However, the vast majority of the players who perform these 3 actions still continue hearing the standard GNR broadcasts, so there must be several more requirements the community has yet to isolate. If you're lucky enough to have hit upon the right set of circumstances, just after destroying Raven Rock, you will get the message, radio signal lost, and a few seconds later, radio signal found. You cannot, however, actually listen to GNR just yet, because you didn't boost the signal and are out of range of the broadcast at the exit of Raven Rock. Luckily, Raven Rock is situated in the mountains and is right near one of the few places outside DC that you can get high enough to catch the signal. So far, the confirmed locations to hear the GNR numbers signal are: 1 within the immediate DC area. Obviously, this is true for the regular GNR throughout the game. 2. At the top of the Ferris wheel at Point Lookout. 3. On the tops of some of the sitcom arrays you can climb in the northwestern map area. 4. On the roof of Tenpenny Tower, though this may be within normal broadcast range anyway. Feel free to playtest and get back to me on this. 5. On the highest point of the broken bridge around Arafoot, again, may be within broadcast range anyway. 6. On some of the highest points of the mountain tops in the area near Raven Rock. This is obviously your easiest chance to first listen to the numbers station. When you tune in, you will hear an old familiar voice, 3-Dog, despite the fact that you killed him earlier. However, you will quickly notice that he does not seem to be in character. So I guess it's not technically 3-Dog, but just the voice actor, Eric Dellums. He reads a series of numbers in a monotone, depressed-sounding voice. He always recites a list of single digits between 9 and 12 characters long. For example, 93791720034. He never uses a multi-digit number like 11 or 40. These numbers are followed by widely varying lengths of Morse code. This is then followed by the song "I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire." All other music tracks seem to be inactive on the numbers station. The Morse code was the easiest part of the mystery to crack, as the code is widely available and many people actually know it off by heart. We quickly had a list of a great number of messages in English. Some sounded completely mundane and even comical, such as "washed the car today, maybe Chinese for dinner," or "have you watched my YouTube video yet, I uploaded myself kicking bums in the nuts." You may be saying, but wait, YouTube doesn't exist in the Fallout universe, and you are right. As far as we could tell, all of the messages sounded like they were based in our reality somewhere near present day. Some of the messages, however, are quite sinister, such as, "The Queen has died today." The world mourns, as on days like these, we are all Brits, or I can't believe they're actually done it. Not long left. The noise. I can't take the noise anymore. I have a pistol in the attic. Just recently, a player on the wiki forums noticed a message that brought to light the meaning of the messages. He was reading a thread that collected all known messages, transposed from Morse to English, and saw the line, 12055282010. What are you talking about? You'll be missed. He realized this referred to the recent death of Gary Coleman, and then quickly realized the numbers were the time and date of death. He immediately scanned through the messages to try and find more examples of this apparent future telling by a game that's more than a year old. The next message he read shocked him and pushed him to enlist the aid of others to decipher the codes. The message was 94542022010. Accident in the Gulf, several dead. Oil spill apparently averted. He realized this was the BP explosion and the erroneous Day 1 assessment that the well was not leaking. From this point on, all numbers will be transcribed as times and dates. All times were given in-game in military format and remain so in this document. Numerous members of the Fallout Wiki message board began looking over the messages to see what else we could learn. We quickly found that most of the dates were after the game had been released, yet oddly some were from the past. 2215 April 15, 1865 He's dead and blame will probably be placed on that actor, Booth. Johnson better not cheat me out of the payment. This shed new doubt on the official version of the Lincoln assassination. As the community quickly started piling up interpretations of the messages, the mods of the site summarily banned everyone who had posted in, or even read the thread. All reference to the numbers station was removed from Fallout Wiki and filtering software was put in place to prevent reposting of any relevant information. A few people, however, are trading emails and slowly finishing the translation of the remaining messages and putting dates to the existing ones. The Queen has died today. The world mourns, as on days like these, we are all Brits. 4:2 March 19, 2014. Have you watched my YouTube video yet? I uploaded myself kicking bums in the nuts. 24:16 December 24, 2012. I can't believe Britney's actually won an Oscar. 21:33 February 27, 2023. I can't believe they've actually done it. Not long left. They were warned, but they just had to keep pushing the boundaries of science. The noise. I can't take the noise anymore. And the light, dear God. The universe is slowly unraveling around us. I'm not going to wait for death. I have a pistol in the attic. This is actually the only message not preceded by a string of numbers. It may be worth noting that the latest date on any of the messages is 127 July 6, 2027. Lone Wolf Radio. A few days ago I decided to play Fallout New Vegas again after about a year. My saved game had a character at level 43 at a very strange location. I was at a part of the map called Lone Wolf Radio. It was a derelict trailer full of various audio equipment for what I assume sending out some sort of pirate radio signal. The area didn't seem all too interesting at first, mostly because there was no valuable loot besides a Sunset Sarsaparilla star cap and a copy of the Wasteland Survival Guide. What piqued my interest about the trailer was the graffiti that covered the inside of the trailer. On the outside, written in some kind of spray paint, it said "Keep out." I'm guessing this message was written by an outsider and not by the person whom lived in the trailer, who I will call the Lone Wolf. The message scrawled on the inside was far more disconcerting. It read, "Everyone is gone, I am alone," and it was written in blood. I decided to look deeper into the matter of this trailer and get some answers about this very out-of-place location compared to the rest of the game. After rigorous investigation, I managed to track down a person online who could answer my questions. He claimed to be a former employee at Obsidian Studios. Although I found his claim dubious at best, I decided to hear him out as he was the best lead I had at this point. He told me that the location was going to tie into a major quest line. You would tune into your radio at around 2 a.m. to hear the lone wolf spout incomprehensible gibberish and proceed to murder a random person. This process would intensify if you ignored the broadcast to the point he would murder a child. According to the former employee, who went by Thomas, they cut the plot line for many reasons, the most obvious being that a quest in which a child is murdered is far too graphic for a game with a tone like Fallout, New Vegas. Me and Thomas had a long conversation about the possibility of accessing the game data. Here is our email messages. Me: how far along was the quest before it was cut? Thomas: we were almost finished, but right before the game was ready we got a message from upstairs that they wanted the entire quest line cut from the game for undisclosed reasons. Me: so I'm wondering, since the quest line was cut from the game late in development, do you think there's any way to get to it or something? Thomas: I'm pretty sure it would still be on there. When we cut material from the game we often left the data in the files rather than completely delete it. Me: so you're saying all the files are there? Thomas: no, most of them are gone. You'll probably only find a couple of the files on the disks. Me: do you know of any way I could get the rest of the files? Thomas: unless you work there, Obsidian, you're not going to find anything. Me: thanks for the help, Thomas. I'm going to keep my eyes open for anything about this. Thomas: alright, good luck and take it easy. After about 2 weeks of hunting with no results, I was about to give up on the matter when I got an anonymous email stating it had what I was looking for. I heard you were looking for the files to the Lone Wolf quest. I attached them here, don't reply back. I found it a little disconcerting that I'd get the files in such a manner, but I was too amazed to actually get them. I packed them into an especially file and got to work. I reloaded my save and waited until 2 a.m. for the radio signal. Sure enough, I picked up the radio frequency. But what I heard on the broadcast disturbed me deeply. I'll write down what I heard below. All alone. I am the last true person alive. All around me the skies weep and the earth howls for blood. The very pits of the great below open for another offering. I hope this meager soul pleases you. All a sudden I heard a voice chime in, halting his belligerent rambling. Someone help me, I'm not supposed to be here. I only came here the audition, I don't want to die. I felt very confused about this line of dialogue. For one, it didn't sound like the regular voice actors in Fallout New Vegas, it almost sounded like a regular person. For another, the line didn't seem to match what was being said at all. I don't know what audition he's referring to. I listened to the broadcast some more. You pathetic creature, you do not deserve to stand before the Mother of the Depths. Mother, take this flesh and enjoy its blood. No, please don't, I'm begging you, no. What I heard made me feel very sick. It sounded like a knife was being worked into the man's torso, and the scream he let out was horrifying. This sounded almost like a real murder. After a minute I traveled to Lone Wolf Radio to continue the quest. The first thing I noticed about the area was there was no music. I chalked it up to the dotway being missing from the folder. The other thing I noticed was the trailer had more graffiti on it. The messages looked fresher than the previous 2 pieces and, like the message on the inside, it was written in blood. They read, Mother of the Depths, take this flesh, and the other one appeared to just be a tally mark, like he's keeping track of his kills. I walked into the trailer when something on the screen flashed with a quick sound of static. The picture flashed too quickly for me to see it, but I felt very uncomfortable. Inside the trailer I saw the corpse of the man killed with a knife stuck in his body and several of his fingers missing, looking like they were chewed off. He didn't look like your standard Fallout character. He appeared to have a custom model with a hairstyle that isn't available to you. It looks like the shaggy suave hairstyle but less flattened. The face model also appeared more detailed than normal. The radio equipment was shut off as well. I noticed far more blood than what is normally there, and it had a somewhat finer texture about it compared to the blood in Fallout New Vegas. I turned around to search the body when the screen flashed again and I heard that static sound once more. I decided I'm going to take a look in the folder and see if I can find the reason behind the flashing. When I opened the folder I noticed a file that was simply labeled picture. When I clicked on it, what I saw made me sick to my stomach. It was a person with a kitchen knife in their torso and several of their fingers gnawed to the bone. He appeared to be in some abandoned house that was rotting and falling apart. After a moment I noticed something. The person in this photo looks just like the character that was murdered by the lone wolf. I think I'm going to look into this tomorrow, but for now I'm not going to touch this again until I figure out what is going on. The next day I decided to contact Thomas again to see if he knew anything about this gruesome picture. This is what he said. Me: "Hey Thomas, the first managed to get my hands on the files for that lone wolf quest, and what I saw really freaked me out." Thomas: "What was it?" Me: "There was a picture of a person who had been murdered and he looked like the model of the character the lone wolf kills." Thomas: "That can't be right, I didn't put anything like that in the quest." Me: "This makes me feel really uneasy, man, I don't get what's going on here." Thomas: "Was there anything else there?" Me: "Other than the disturbing radio message I didn't see anything else." Thomas: "Radio message? We never finished the voice acting." I felt very nauseous. If Thomas and his team didn't finish the voice acting, then what is going on here? I tried to contact the person who sent me the message, but the email address had been deleted. Although I don't feel comfortable about playing this quest, I want to figure out what is going on. I start up Fallout New Vegas and I notice there is something amiss. There is no music playing on the title screen now. I went to load my save, but it was missing. Replacing the file now is a save for a level 1 character at Lone Wolf Radio. When I loaded it, I noticed this character had no clothes on. My Pip-Boy was missing. There was now a fence around the trailer, so I couldn't leave the area. Without any options, I decided to step into the trailer. When I did, the screen flashed what I assume was that disgusting picture, and that same static sound happened, but it was longer than last time. It was pitch black now save for the radio equipment. I couldn't move from my spot for some reason. Just as I was ready to shut the game off, a person walked up and started dialogue. It was the lone wolf himself. He spoke to my character and talked about the Mother of the Depths like last time, but this time he asked me to help him in making an offering to the Mother of the Depths. I didn't like where this was going, but I accepted anyways just to see where this quest was going. He leaves for a second and comes back with a child. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Like the previous person, this model is not like any character in Fallout New Vegas, and he had a far more detailed character model. I wanted to shut the game off now, but the escape button wasn't working, and neither was my Alt-Tab and Control-Alt-Delete buttons. The lone wolf spoke his words of offering and proceeded to raise a sledgehammer. The child model was crying and spoke, "Please, mister. I'm scared. I want to go home." This dialogue was eerily realistic, and I remembered my previous experience with this. I feel very tense now, and just as he's about to hit the child with the sledgehammer, the screen flashes and the game crashes. I have a cold bead of sweat running down now as I open the file. I see a new file labeled "Picture" just like the last one. With great hesitation I open the file. What I see makes me start to tear up, and I yelped. It was a photo, a child with his head caved in and blood drenched everywhere. After that I deleted the lone wolf especially, and I uninstalled my copy of Fallout New Vegas. I can't play it anymore after that. I haven't heard anything from Thomas or the person that sent me the file, but then again I don't think I want to hear anything about it after going through that.